Max here from LRT. Today we're going to be spraying up a rifle. Why would you spray up a rifle then? Well, obviously you've got all of the benefits from breaking up the shape, breaking up the colours, the camouflage and concealment side of things. For the main part, people do it because it's a bit of individuality. It looks pretty cool, to be fair, to see a different rifle out there when you're at a competition, or if you're at an event, or if you're taking it out stalking. A big part of painting a rifle is it's not a powder coat. It's not going to come out absolutely beautiful and stay like that forever. You want it to look dinged, you want it to look used, okay? And that's kind of the charm of painting a rifle, is it is a tool at the end of the day. It's going to look sort of beaten and battered. So if you do mess it up a little bit, hey, it's all part of it. We've got a Tikka TAC A1 here. This is in 223, all right? We're just going to go through what we would do if we're spraying up a rifle. We sprayed up lots of things from tripods, accessories, optics, rifles, rifle accessories and stuff like that. And this is kind of like a process that we'll go. There is no standardized, this is how it needs to look. I'll just talk about bits that I do when I spray up a rifle. Okay, so first things first, you want your paint. So paints we got, we use Krylon. Use this loads, it's fantastic, ultra flat. There's lots of different ones. You can go into any sort of hobby craft shop or whatever, B&Q or whatever, and buy some like matte paint. But if you want really good stuff that we personally trust, it's Krylon. By all means, give it a little clean, because if you've got loads of dirt and stuff all over your rifle, that will then get painted over and then it will just come off, all right? After you've got your paint sorted then, we want to cover parts of information that we don't want to lose, so serial numbers, or like on your optics, for example, like numbers, magnification, parallax, that stuff, you don't want to lose that. We want to cover anything where metal rubs on metal. As you can see, this Tikka, I've gone around pretty much everywhere where I don't want paint on, or information that I want to keep. I don't want to paint over basically, so I can't see it. Points to note, okay, threads, clearly metal's going to be rubbing on metal, so I'll cover that up. The bolt and stuff like that, obviously the bolt's going to be sliding forward and backwards, so I don't want any paint in there. The trigger, where my finger is going to be rubbing on metal, and then anywhere else that you don't want paint. If there's any like material like foam and stuff, cover it, all right? I've got some foam on my pad. I don't want paint in there because it will just absorb and then it will just be gross. Rubber on the back of the butt as well. You can paint over it, but it will just flake off. It doesn't hold. I've left my magazine in. I don't really care if this gets sprayed. This is more to stop paint getting into the bottom, but by all means, if you don't want that, just cover that area so paint doesn't get in, but I'm just gonna leave that in. Just make sure when you are doing spraying, it's mega lightweight. You don't wanna be holding on for too long, and otherwise you cause drips and stuff. So mega light, and just do multiple coats rather than trying to cover everything in the first coat. Cool, so first off then, I'm gonna kind of sort of see how I feel with this rifle. I haven't got any sort of plan for it. I'm just gonna do what I think. I'm trying to break up the shape a little bit. I'm going to do a tan base layer, and then I'm going to do some accents at the end, all right, and we'll see how it turns out. So first off first, I'm going to start with the base layer. In this case, it's going to be desert. As you can see, I've just gone mega light. Cool, right, once you're done, that first coat, you can use your blower. The lighter you spray initially, the quicker it will dry, right? So don't hold it on because it will just take forever to dry and it'll drip and it'll look shit. Cool, I'm then just gonna do a further couple coats until we've got a nice base coat on there. Too much. The thing with painting a rifle is less is more. Right, now I've done base coat, okay? Again, there's still some bits that aren't fully done. However, again, I don't need to get fully into every crevice because I'm doing other coats on top which will probably fill them. Next, I want to do some actual breaking up of the shape, right? At the minute, it's just one color. One way we can do that, we can put tape over and sort of rip up the tape and stuff to get some interesting lines. Another way I like to just get a piece of cardboard and then basically just rip out some interesting shapes. You can do it with paper. Ideally, you want to do it with some form of card, just because if you do it with paper, as you start to get paint on it, it just becomes all like flimsy, and that's when things just start sort of falling apart. So again, just get a piece of card. This is literally just from a box I've just ripped off down there. Cut out, just rip it, rip some interesting sort of shapes into it, so it's not just a straight line, but jagged enough. And then again, give yourself a bit more, so you've got different sort of lengths, sort of shapes along there, and that's what we're going to use, okay? For this, I'm going to use a green. In this case, it's an olive green, so we'll give that a go. And I'm just going to do it sporadically up and down the actual rifle. Less is more, don't go crazy, because we're going to do some other colours as well later. Okay, I've got another green. Again, just always trying to just layer on those different types of colours. Slightly different colour than the last one was an olive. I don't know what this one is, but it looks like it's a little bit lighter, so it might give it a different sort of accent to it. So again, we're just going to be layering things on, layering more on. That other green I put on is a little bit, like quite a little bit green. I don't know how I feel about it at the minute, but we'll keep going. The beauty with spray paint is if you don't like something, you can just spray it again. But now I've got a little stencil here. It's almost kind of like maybe like a, I don't know, like a dried earth, I suppose, almost like a desert where the water's gone. It's kind of how I imagine it sort of looks. I'm just going to put this over again, maybe near to where I've also sprayed already. And again, I'm going to use a darker colour now, and this is more sort of accents, right? And we'll see how this comes out. Cool, so went over that. Looks a little bit like a giraffe at the minute. So I'm just going to try and break it up a little bit more with the green. And there you go, that is just one way of spraying a rifle, okay? By no means is that the only way. As you can see, we've got a couple different styles here behind me, and like this stock here. If you'd like to see us do more paint jobs and stuff on pieces of kit equipment, then let us know. And if you've done some spray work on your rifles recently, please send us some photos because we'd love to see it. Hope this helped, guys, and take care.